Most white people are racist. The thing that white people hate to hear, and the thing that white people refuse to acknowledge and fix. When I say most white people are racist, what I mean is the majority of white people are racist. And I know this to be true. And if you're an honest person, you know it to be true.
Hello, brothers and sisters. I really hope you're all doing fine from wherever you are watching me from now. Most of white folks are now calling out the black community for unity. Most of them are feeling like America is collapsing and they need the voice of the black community. Now, they are worried that most of the black Americans are quiet about tariffs, they are quiet about assassinations, they are quiet and silent about hard economic times. Now, they are calling for help, and do you really think the black community is going to come out and help them? Let's watch this video, then have a really quick discussion at the end of it. Thank you so much.
Yes, most white people are racist, and it's very simple as to why. Some white people are the perpetrators of racism. Some white people enjoy discriminating against black people and brown people. They enjoy seeing inequality being distributed. They enjoy their white privilege, and they work to protect it. They enjoy using the N-word. They are Trump supporters. They support politicians and lawmakers that promote racism. These are the perpetrators. These are the covert and overt racists, people that actually spew racism in all kinds of different ways, whether discrimination through words, through behavior, so many different ways. And then you have all the other white Americans that support it. And they support it how? By ignoring it. A massive millions and millions and millions of white people right now in America are actively ignoring white supremacy. And it's an art. It's a culture. It's what we do. We're masters as a white people at pretending white supremacy is not real, at pretending inequality is not real, at pretending all the statistics, all the racial data, all the racial disparities in every single American institution is not real. We are masters at ignoring it. And then the other thing that we do to support white supremacy is we deny it. Yes, the majority of white people deny white privilege, deny white supremacy, deny racial injustice. They thrive on denying it. It's part of their livelihood. So when I say white people are racist, it's because if we're not perpetrating it, we're supporting it. And until that changes, most white people are racist.
Thank you so much for this question. I am honored to attempt to give it an answer. For the purposes of this video, it's going to be a conversation from a white person's perspective about the black people of America. That's all I can talk about. That's all I have perspective on. White people have done every single thing in our power to make black people feel less than, to feel worthless, to feel inferior, and you didn't. We failed. We failed in that. We enslaved you, we beat you, we bred you, we treated you worse than cattle. We did everything that we could in order to make the black person in this country feel inferior. And you are still here and you influence everything. Every single day is influenced by a black person in some way. Music is influenced by black people. Fashion is influenced. The way we speak is influenced. Every single thing that is American culture has been influenced by black American. So as a white person, if your people have spent hundreds of years telling you that these other people are worth less than you, you're going to be fucking annoyed when they don't act the way that you've been told that they should fucking act, right? That's their mentality. That is what their mentality is. They've been told their entire lives that black people are inferior. And so when you don't act that way, it enrages them. And that is it. It's jealousy. The community that black people have in every situation, Montgomery, there was a hat thrown in the air and you guys jumped into action. It was... I am so trying to be respectful. I really not trying white woman tears this. Black women have the DNA for every single human on the planet. It is in your bones. You make it. And that is magic. So it's another, it's like, I don't mean this in any disrespectful way. They're playing their role. It's just like the heteronormative way of life, right? Like you're assumed straight until you come out because that's what everybody does. Everybody does it. And so we all play our roles that we are assigned, but black people in this country are not playing the role that was assigned to them in the mentality of white people. You guys aren't taking out our garbage. You're not taking care of our children. You're not in the fields. You know, you're educated. You are highly educated. Like, again, you are more educated. Black women are more educated today than every other class of person. And that happened in less than 50 years. It is jealousy. It is rage, and the fact that you guys are not playing the assigned role that they think that you should be playing. So I hope that this was respectful. And if I said anything out of pocket, please let me know in the comments. I am always learning. So thank you.
Hank, I'm sorry that I've left you hanging with this question for so long. As somebody who lives in a country that famously hates Arabs, I find this question a little bit weird, but I feel like I spoon-feed you too much information, so I'm going to empower you with an assignment. Learn about the Arab slave trade, actually learn about chattel slavery in the United States, recognize who continues to harm black people in the United States today, and the answer will magically appear. If after completing the assignment you still don't know the answer, just take the L. I can't help you.
White folks with very little power. For them, it's just habit. I have been speaking more vocally on race and sort of documenting my deconstruction of the racism I was indoctrinated into as a child. And when I make those videos, there are 3 different kinds of comments I get, excluding the racist assholes because I just delete and block them. But from white folks, I generally get, oh my God, I never even thought about it like that. And from black folks, I usually either get, thank you for speaking out, or how can you not know this? Why are you shocked? We've been saying this forever. And that third response is 100% valid, and I completely respect it. You're right. I should know it. We all should know it. But it's that first response is the reason why I'm documenting this process I'm going through. Have been going through for years, but it's accelerating pretty quickly right now. Because us white folks are stuck in this loop of we don't know what we don't know. We were literally taught lies. So I'm just going to keep speaking truth.
My goodness. This is what you guys don't get. I don't care whether or not somebody likes me or not. That's not what I'm concerned about. I believe in voting on based upon who does what they say they're going to do. This isn't some, popularity contest to see who can give the best, most heartfelt speeches. I don't care about that. My self-esteem does not come from another race or another person. It doesn't. But see, the problem with a lot of the people on the left, not all, but a lot of the people on the left, is that you guys are so caught on the emotional aspect of things without actually looking at the facts. That video is simply pointing out how you guys put so much effort into, criticizing that Jason Aldean song. But you have all these other songs that are very dangerous to black people. The hip-hop songs of today are much more detrimental to African Americans than a few country songs. But like I said, a lot of you people on the left, not all, but a lot of you guys don't want to actually deal with the real issues that African Americans are dealing with. So instead of actually, going after, hood culture or rap culture, you go after that one little Jason Aldean song because you're not actually concerned about helping African Americans. You just want a virtue signal.
This is a message to all of you white women who talk all this mess about black women because you know they're gorgeous. You talk about they hair, saying they hair's fake, they wear weaves and all this mess, but all of you guys are wearing weaves. You talk about their lips are so big, but all of you guys are out here getting lip injections, plump lip gloss, getting your lips plumper. Make that make sense. You're out here talking about their big booties, but you guys are flying to different countries to get Brazilian butt lifts, and then you get jacked because you wanted to go get a butt lift in a different country. You guys are out here getting butt implants, butt injections. Make that make sense. You guys talk about how their skin is so dark, but you guys are out here going to tanning beds, going and laying out in the sun, getting fried to the smithereens just to get darker. You're out here getting spray tans. Make that make sense. You guys also are going to the gym, doing the stair steppers and everything else to get a bigger booty. Did the cat get your tongue, white woman? Huh? Yeah, that's what I thought. You guys are out here doing everything that you talked about them about. Like, this don't make no sense. It's because you guys are haters. And you know that the black women are gorgeous. So maybe you guys can, like, grow the flip up. Because you just want to hate on black people because that's all you've been taught your whole life is to be racist and to hate on black women. And all you white men who sit here and hate on black women, but you're behind the screen looking at them and lusting over them because you know they're gorgeous. Like, why don't you guys just show the true you? Like, show the true you. Show people who you truly are. Because you know you love the black skin. You know you love the darker skin tone. So, yeah, be you and quit hating on people. And then you want to put a stance on black people saying they love fried chicken and watermelon. But who's eating all the fried chicken and watermelon? Y'all. Y'all are. Everybody eats it. You guys just want to sit there and poke and nitpick at every single thing. Because, again, you're haters. So maybe one day you'll open your eyes and see that we are all to be loved. We're all to be as one. So stop the crap.
Hey, I don't know who needs to hear this, but it's not just racism or any form of discrimination from some white people. There are people in your own communities that also hate you and don't want you to have anything either. And that's one of the things that's helped me heal. Depending on the day, because every day is not easy at all. And I know we like to tell ourselves, it's not you, it's them. They hate themselves. And while, yes, it may not be you, what we consider self-hate because we would never do it, even if there is a part of them that dislikes themselves, the truth is they love themselves enough to hate you. And while a lot of self-hatred within every non-white community can, and in some cases very much does, stem from the historical and present harm that some white people have inflicted on every community, regardless of the people within every community that want to be white for whatever reason, because there's a plethora of reasons why some people do. The reason why I will never blame all white people is because there very much are, and I have personally experienced, people from every single community that are not straight white men who are capable of and live off of hating every single person within their community, identity, and everybody around them just because those other people exist. And one of the biggest problems is that a lot of people who are not white are not willing to accept the reality that thy neighbor, the person sitting right next to you, can and very much sometimes does not only hate everything about you, including your existence, because they want to be next to who they consider the oppressor, but a lot of non-white people just want to be the next oppressor. Based on my lived experiences that I have proof of on all of my devices, I have met a lot of people that I did not know hated their own people. And this is across every community, regardless of identity, gender, race, nationality, ethnicity, sexuality, religion, spiritual, all that stuff. And they hate their own communities because they want power and control. They want to feel like they have minions and servants because that's who they are inside. And that is genuinely not always because of all white people. But respectfully, the experience and the perception and the understanding of these things is based on several factors, especially how you present, where you're from, the time period in which things happen, and who you end up dealing with from your own communities and neighboring communities that have these behaviors, and if you're even exposed to them, because a lot of people's perceptions of things are based on who they're exposed to the most, and that's why generalizations happen, which are extremely harmful to everyone. The honest truth of my life is that yes, the systems in place by harmful white people have very much oppressed me. But my lived experience is that I was forced to suffer the consequences of seeking help within that system because of the hateful people next to me within the communities that I identify with and the neighboring communities that I support who operate through narcissism. The clearest example I can give you is that there are a lot of people who are very loudly against discrimination.
She's not wrong. I'm not here to sit here and bash white women. That's not what I'm here to do. It's hard being a minority in New York City and seeing how more and more white people are moving here and just feel like entitled. You know, I grew up in a white part of New York, like Westchester. Like I started out in the Bronx for a little while and then I moved to Upper Westchester, and that's where I was raised in a predominantly white school. I have been bullied, okay? And you know, when you're a kid, you feel embarrassed and ashamed to be like, oh, I'm Puerto Rican and I'm Jordanian. I'm embarrassed because people say these hurtful things about me. And then, you know, when you get older and you're an adult, you're like, wait, I'm Puerto Rican and Jordanian. Like, I'm cool. I'm not trying to be corny, but when you're a grown-ass adult, like, keep your words to yourself, but also, like, grow up. Because the fact that these white girls sit here and they always have something to say at the bars here, you know, they move here, like, post-grad. They probably went to, like, some big party school in, like, Kansas or, like, Texas, and they move here, and they don't do their research. They don't do their research in a sense that New York City is so big, right? Like, New York City is just not Manhattan. It's not just like the Lower East Side or the West Village. Manhattan is so much more, okay? It's so much more than that in a sense that there are so many, like, religions and cultures and ethnicities here and mixed people. I feel like white people move here and they move to, like, the East Village, and then they go to Brooklyn or something and they're like, oh, scary! Or they go to a predominantly white bar and they see, like, one brown girl and they're, like, threatened and they have something to say and, like, start drama. So I guess that just stems from, like, insecurity on their end and, like, hatred built up in their body. But I think it's mostly insecurity. If there's one takeaway from this, and again, I'm not trying to be corny, if you are a minority and someone tries to make you feel less than, ignore them. Or honestly, you could step in and put them in their place, because honestly, I would put them in their place. But you know, sometimes when you get made fun of, you're so upset you lose the energy to fight back. I get it, but honestly, if it were up to me, I would just say something. But you should be prideful that you are a cultured human being. You come from culture, and that's something they can't relate to, right? You have, like, this uniqueness to you. I'm sorry if I sound so corny, but I know I'm right. Like, you have this unique quality to you that you come from something so amazing. And again, I'm not trying to victimize myself, because people have it worse. Other minorities have it worse. But it just sucks that we have to go through this. But I always want my fellow minorities to stay strong and always put your foot down and realize that you're the superior.
The fact that this comment right here is the plot of a major Disney film this year, and they still don't get it. They still don't understand why the Ross CIA, the France UN bit was part of the movie. Y'all the villain.
Well, I guess to put it simply, we don't. there's a lot of stereotypes out there. And there are some white people that do have hate. And it's usually because of a stereotype that they think all people are the same and they dislike that. But the theory that all white people are that way is also a stereotype. So we got to be careful about stereotypes, and we got to be careful about what we listen to and what we believe, because a lot of it's not true. Take care.
Why have white Americans been afraid to start or celebrate White History Month?
Oh, there's so many reasons, but really I think it starts in the public schools when we're little. We've just really been conditioned into this kind of suicidal tendency, culturally suicidal tendency of like hating ourselves. And so most white people that hear anything positive about white culture, history, or the white race immediately kind of have this reflexive reaction of negativity. We've been really shamed as a race and a people to not appreciate our own heritage and be able to talk about that and to talk about being proud or happy or content with our ancestors and our culture.
Dear white folk, I'm sitting here, it really racks my brain. Like, what do we do? You know what I mean? I know a lot of black people are gonna be like, I don't give a fuck, I don't care why you even asking them, but I genuinely want to know, what did we do? I mean, like, even after slavery, though. Like, what did we do to make y'all hate us so much? To where you just see us and you're like, I fucking hate that nigger. I hate that black skin. I hate that fucking hair. I hate those lips. I hate that fucking talent. I hate that. What made you look at us and just really just hate everything about us? But we ain't did nothing to y'all. And then still to this day, that's what I really want to know. In this generation, why is there black hate? Is it because you guys were taught this shit and that's just all you know and you don't really know how to change it? Or is it because you're just ignorant and don't give a fuck and think it's funny and you just want to just be a part of that crowd that is just keeping that shit alive in that way? Like, what is it? What is it? Because we genuinely, as a race, do not fuck with nobody. We don't. We love everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, we genuinely love everybody. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. So I'm just like, I don't know. And I know I just made a post a bit ago. I promise black people, I'm not trying to look for the validation from the white folk. I'm just genuinely curious these days. Like, where's the hate coming from? Why can you guys not hate us? You know what I mean? Like, help me understand. Like, I'm so lost. Why do you guys keep this shit alive? Like, explain. Please drop the comments. I need to know.
One of my biggest pet peeves is a white person who hates on other white people as if hating on white people makes them less white. The thing is, it's okay to be white, okay? There are certain brands of humor we wouldn't get if you guys couldn't be so carefree, okay? There's something about seeing your happiness and knowing that you at your base level are happier than we could ever be is just kind of interesting. And yeah, we're gonna give you a hard time based off the history of racism, but like, you know, it's all love at the end of the day. I mean, love and hate. It's love and hate at the end of the day. But the thing is, when you hate on other white people who are also you, it's just icky to me. Because in my mind, and this is my problem, but I'm like, bro, you don't care. You don't actually care. Like, white people making fun of other white people for using AAVE. I'm like, y'all don't really care about that. Like, that's just what my heart tells me, okay? I'm not saying it's true. And I'm wondering if it's internalized racism on my part that I would rather you be racist than you, like, defend me. I just feel like you're not keeping it a buck with me, okay? And the thing is, there was this one dude. I remember one time we were around a bunch of white people and he was like, man, I hate white people. White dude himself, okay? But mind you, later on in the night, he was trying to get me to sell, like, illegal substances. And I'm like, man, like, that's low-key, like, a little racist. Like, he was coming to me, he's like, man, bro, I can only only take this to people I trust, but I really I be serving, certain things, and you could maybe bring me some clientele that I wouldn't have usually. Like, he was trying to get me on the team, and I'm like, man, like, he was making arguments. I was like, man, should I be that guy? But I couldn't, because if I go to jail, bro, I'm like, I'm finished. I'm cooked. I am not strong, okay? I'm a large, lanky man, but I am not strong, bro. They would have their way with me. I wouldn't like that very much. And plus, just imagine being in prison and, like, just not being able to interact with the outside world. Like, you wouldn't know anything. You wouldn't know anything about what's going on. Like, imagine music drops and, like, I won't be able to listen to it. Like, a new episode of From comes out. I won't be able to see it, you know what I mean?
Hello, brothers and sisters. I really hope you're all doing fine from wherever you are watching me from. Now, most of the white folks can't believe the fact that the black people are minding their own business. Now, a lot of things have happened in the last 2 months, or in the last 1 month, and not just from tariffs. We've had a lot more happening in the US right now. We've had tariffs. We've had soybeans crying because they were going broke. We've had Nebraska farmers crying. We've had so many other things. Now, we've had also the assassination of Charlie Kirk, one of the most vibrant conservative, or the MAGA youth leader. Now, these things are actually happening when the black people are just watching and keeping silent, and this is not sitting well with the majority of the white Americans. Now, we know from time to time the black community has had a lot of trouble, that we've had leaders in the black community who didn't end up well because a system somewhere saw them as a threat, and in that case, some of them never exist. Now, we've had the problem of who should be speaking at what time and who should be saying what at what time. Most of the white folks did believe that everything negative happening in the US should actually be brought out by the black community. They are the ones who should come out, riot, rant, and do all those crazy stuff. But we are living in an era where the black community is no longer saying a lot. It is minding its own business and keeping quiet over a matter of things that are happening in the US. Now, from the brutal takedown of Charlie Kirk, tariffs, deportations, high economic times or bad economic times, all these things are happening while the black community is silent. You might ask yourself, why aren't they complaining? Why are they not saying a word over the things that are happening right now in the US? We all know that the US has been a very oppressive country for a very long time. The systems set in the US are very biased in some cases because some people can't get the justice they require or they deserve. We've had a lot of assassinations in the US. Malcolm X was taken down, and the same was done to Martin Luther King Jr. There is no justice that has been given to their families up to date. The black community continue mourning them in pain and in vain because the system doesn't care. But when it really came to Charlie Kirk, I don't want to say it in a bad way, it was brought out and everyone saw it, and it has been a topic for the last 2 weeks, and they forced everyone to talk about the topic. And you ask yourself, do blacks serve a lesser God? Or do blacks deserve a less justice than their white counterparts? They should not be narrowed down to racial context, because justice should not be served on the basis of who is seeking it. It should be served on the basis of what happened and who is liable for whatever happened. And they should be taken to books, and they deserved justice given to the victims. We are seeing, we are living in an era where everything has been put in a context between races, you know, that this is great and this is less great. And when we have all these things and now we see the black community silent, don't you connect the dots? That if they have been talking and they have been making a lot of noise when one of their own was taken down and nothing was done, what makes you think that they are going to make noise when one is taken down and is not their own? I remember the words of Louis Farrakhan. I remember the words of Jane Elliott. And I also remember the words of Tim Wise. They all shared one message. When justice is delayed, then it is denied. Now, when justice is not given to the black people, when you pretend that justice is not deserved to the black community. Now, Louis Farrakhan argues out that God is going to take away justice from you, the white folks. What do we mean by saying this? Or what did he mean by saying this? He said that justice is not something that is given out of favor or partially. That today this person deserves justice, tomorrow they don't. Justice should be given on the basis of whatever happened. You will see a lot more people making noise that the black community is silent and they are trying to separate or alienate themselves from the realities in the US. Life hasn't been that easy to most of the black people in the US. We all know this. From the time of Jim Crow laws, when blacks were meant to be alienated from the white Americans, when blacks had their own schools, when blacks were not allowed to go to colleges that white people attend, when blacks were not allowed to do so many other things because they were kept back in whatever they call the ghettos. Now, that's when America started falling. America started falling the moment they used and dumped the same people who helped them grow their economy. I do not mean that the white folks did less to grow the economy. They did good as well. But now, figure it out in this case. The black people, after being taken to the US as slaves, that's the moment US and Europe gets Industrial Revolution. That's when it happened. The Industrial Revolution happened as a result of labor. They had adequate labor thanks to the black community. They worked for 300 years. Now, this is the 400th year. They have never been paid reparations. They have never been liberated. Whenever they had a leader who wanted to talk about this thing, the leader was taken down. How do you expect their response to be when crime takes over in the US? What do you want them to do when all these people opposed them whenever they came out to talk about police brutality, whenever they came out to talk about all these other things, including separations, when they came out to talk about mass incarcerations and all these other things? Let's be very, very honest and leave the mediocrity, because we have built stereotypes about the black race. And one of the most famous stereotypes is that the black community is dominated by violence and with a lot of anger and aggressiveness. Now, where does this aggressiveness comes from? Where does this anger comes from? I'll tell you. The anger, aggressiveness has come from the environment. As a result, they are trying to resist all the things and trying to adapt to the environment they have been brought up in. An environment which has oppressed them, an environment which has been so biased to them, an environment which has rejected them, in a system which has thrown them out after building the US. What else do you expect of them? Do you expect of them to come and clap for you whenever all these things are done to them? Do you expect them to be happy when police brutality takes the better of the US in the black community? Do you want them to be happy when they have been classified as violent and all that? Brothers and sisters, we should and we ought to be very, very genuine with ourselves. Let's be very, very true. The black community is not silent because they want to be silent. They are silent to stay away from trouble in the US. They have always ended up or landed in trouble whenever they talked about the things they are facing. When they came out to protest about police brutality, what was the response from the government and what was the response from white America? We all know when they have always been addressing hard economic times in the US, bad leadership, people said they are complaining a lot. They are now quiet, still the same problem. They want them to speak. This brings me to a point where I think when you are used to talking and you keep quiet, your enemies are very stressed. And when your enemies do the worst to you, but you don't retaliate and just keep quiet, they think you're planning something evil against them. So they always want your voice. They always want to see you speaking. They always want to hear your mind and read your mind at the same time. I'm not for separation and divisions. I've been fighting and advocating for black and brown unity. I've been advocating for white and black unity. But this should come when or after forgiveness is done, reparations are paid, and mutual respect is upheld. Thank you so much for having taken the time to watch this video. I really appreciate it. If it's the first time on this channel, please consider subscribing, sharing, commenting, and liking the video. Thank you so much.